All right. We have Eva. I'm thinking of Eva a lot the last couple of days, I guess, because all the shit that went
Yeah, it's been a while.
on. Ian Livingston is in the house. Ian used to work for me. He's thinking, what, 5 years? Was it 5 years?
About 4.5, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere in there.
So about 5 years, anyhow. So we're going to get a unique perspective of what it was like for Ian to come to work here. Um, if you wouldn't mind, Ian, go ahead and give us your, I don't know, thought on when you first came to work here and your expectations, or I don't know, when you first met me. That story would be good when you came down here with your grandpa. You're on.
Well, I come down here in my truck that I just got that I didn't know nothing about. I'd never done anything but like changed oil a time or two. And I'm thinking my transmission mount's about to fall out. You remember that when I thought transmission mount was going to fall out?
Not really. I
So
mean,
I think it was him. Somebody told me transmission mount was falling out.
wasn't that your Pepaw P that was telling you
Somebody
something?
told me something was going to fall out of it.
Yeah,
It ended up the rear end was going to explode. You remember that one? I know you do that.
yeah.
And I get out, and he just kind of jumped up underneath it, like looked around for a minute, and you're like, "No, transmission mount's fine." And I'm like, "This guy's crazy."
Bring your chair a little bit closer to the speaker. There you go, or the microphone.
And I'm like, "Yeah, this guy's crazy." He's crawling around on the gravel underneath the truck, looking up at the transmission mount. I'm like, "I don't know what's going on here."
So that was pretty much the first time you had met me, other than, well, I know you'd met me before, but you
You
hadn't.
gave me a lighter that time, so I was like,
Wait a minute. We won't get into that story yet. That was pretty much the first time you really interacted with me as more of an adult
"Yeah,
than the first time you
yeah."
met me. So uh, we'll talk about the lighter story. Go ahead. Tell us more about that interaction.
So you looked at. I thought it was the water pump leaking, but I wasn't sure. You were like, "Yep, yep, definitely the water pump," because I think we dropped it off here, right?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. I think what originally happened. I think your grandpa came down here, and Eva. Oh, I think I'd done something. I'd worked on something for him. Yeah, that's what it was. I'd worked on something for your grandma and grandpa, and then when he came down to pick it up, he started the conversation of saying something about Ian was wanting to learn how to work on cars, and was wondering if you would help him work on his water pump on his truck, because he'd really like to do it himself and kind of learn
Yeah.
what to do. And then I said, yeah, we'll clean out a spot back here in the back, and he can back his truck in there. And I can't remember if that came up in the conversation there about you were wanting to work on vehicles a lot or wanting to learn how to do it, but that definitely was somewhere in that conversation or the next one we had. So um, let's get back into when you first came to work here. What was your expectations, and what kind of impressions did you get?
The very first job that I ever did here was the water pump on my truck. And I was like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing because you pretty much walked me through it. And it took me like 5 hours, and I can do it in like an hour now. But I was like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. And after, I don't know, probably, like, I was expecting that we were going to like rotate tires and change oil and like do spark plugs, like stuff that I'd heard about in maintenance. And within like 3 weeks, I'm like, all right, this is different, but good different. Like this is cool. We're like welding tractors back together and stuff over here. And after I got into the steady flow of like, I could show up and all we do is oil changes. I could show up and we do the most oddball, random, has nothing to do with the car task that you've ever done heard of. And I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. And then I got really into it. Started coming in more as often as I could and stuff. Anytime you had something for me to do,
Yeah, there was definitely a change in you in within the first year of all the stuff you were exposed to,
I got
and
into it.
uh, it was it was pretty crazy 3 or 4 years there. For a while, I was dealing with the house stuff we were dealing with, and
That was an interesting experience for sure.
yeah, so yeah,
Showed up to work on cars and we ended up re-bricking a basement. That was a good one.
well, it just kind of par for the course around here.
I do things every day now, like with that whole like air compressor thing. They were like freaking out about like, oh, we're gonna get a belt. Oh, the belt's like a day or two out, and I'm like, I got a guy for that. Just went and got the belt from the belt man. No problem at all. That's all. That's all because of you. So I can do all that.
It's amazing working in a certain place with certain people exposes you to a lot of different things that you wouldn't think about, and the fact that you got a guy for this or you got a guy for that.
Very well versed.
Um, that's been something that I've dealt with for a long time because of most of the businesses I was in. I dealt with a lot of different people and a lot of different things.
Very well versed in all fields. Can do all kinds of crazy things. It's like someone will be like, where did you learn to do that? And I'm like, well, this one time we were working on a car, and we fixed it with a hose clamp and an extension cord, and it worked. So now I can fix things with the hose clamps and extension cords, and it works. And it's better than the factory did it most of the time.
Well, yeah, and there's been some strange fixes around here, but
That always worked.
yeah, well, I've always been a firm believer if it works, and coming from the poor background and having to do with whatever you got and making do, and that's just part of it. Okay, I think we'll end it right there, and we'll check that out and see how we did, Ian.